At this point in your enlightenment, I want to talk a little bit about bad moods. So I'm going to say something about being in a bad mood or having a bad day that most people think I'm kind of crazy when I talk about this. But for me, my experience of a bad day or being in a bad mood is really not all that bad anymore. Now, I think this is because, here's my theory, is that I think it's probably about 97 to 99% of the horribleness that's in bad days or bad moods that we truly experience sometimes when you're not feeling good. It can feel really terrible, and I get that. I think 97 to 99% of it is our resisting it. It's our judging it, our trying to change it, all of that stuff we do when we don't feel our best, whether it's, again, just mentally judging it or actually going out in the world and doing things to try to make ourselves feel better, feels awful. And I really think that that is what makes bad moods or bad days or just not, bad emotion seem so terrible to most people, is that they're really caught up in that, all of that resisting and changing and judging all of those efforts. And so let me just tell you my personal experience. I mean, when you're able to just wake up in kind of a not great mood and just acknowledge, like, I don't feel that great right now, or this isn't my best day, and just sort of settle into that, almost the way that you would settle into a rainy day. You just accept what it is, and you know that it's not going to rain forever. You absolutely know that it's going to change. No matter how awful you feel, it's always temporary. For me, when I can just settle into that, know it's temporary, it's kind of like looking outside and seeing that it's pouring when I had plans to do things outside. It's a little disappointing at first maybe, but the second you stop trying to make it something that it's not, stop trying to change it, and you just settle into it, then you realize there's actually some comfort that comes in that. Sometimes it's kind of nice to have a rainy day when you just relax and stay in. And sometimes, as nutty as this sounds, it's not that bad to have a bad day. It can feel a little bit comforting. I just let myself off the hook for all the stuff that I was, planning to get done, or all the ways I wanted to be, and you just settle into exactly how you feel. And of course, the irony is that it tends to change really quickly when you do that, but that's not the purpose. You're not doing it with any agenda. It's really about just dropping that judgment and just settling into it and seeing that when you stop fighting it and trying to make it something it's not, it's really not that bad. It's always changing, it's not permanent, and it's not who you are. It's just the stuff on the surface. So I almost just kind of like sink into who I am a little bit more, not reminding myself anything, not trying to feel better whatsoever, but just saying, okay, it's one of those days, and it really, really changes the experience of it. It's when, you're exhausted and you're doing shots of espresso to try to feel better that you feel really, really horrible. It's when you wake up in that bad mood and you start going to all your positive psychology tricks and techniques to try to feel better that you really feel horrible. So it really, a gigantic percentage of what makes it feel so bad is our attempts to change it. And when you stop trying to change it and you settle into it, you notice that it really isn't all that bad.